mentioned that we saw the boom, but in terms of drivers that lead to the sectoral growth, what would they be from a marketing perspective, from a business development perspective, and from an institution's perspective? What do you think are going to be the key drivers of growth for the sector that we're in?
Yeah, let me start with your excuses. In this sector, as I said, small prediction, short-term predictions is hard. Some of if you are following the traders, influencers, and the other traders, some of them trying to technical indicators or cycles from the other markets as well, not just for the Web3 spaces. If you are a trader, you should use all market indicators globally, environmentally. So we saw the AI still playing ongoing. RWAs are rising over there in here, but still we are missing the adaptation of there. Some people are missing to this sector's hype. Still we are very early in terms of the technological side, because we know Bitcoin, we know how to buy Bitcoin, for example, in Albank. While Albank is a centralized exchange, but ecosystem is decentralized. Why Albank in here? Why centralized structures still in here in this decentralized ecosystem? Probably you don't ask this question to you. Because of the adaptation, because of these other sectors, other players comes into the play, to get into the play. For example, transportation sector, it's a huge transportation sector is a very huge sector, but still, if I'm not wrong, 2% of the transportation companies are just using Web3, but Web3 blockchain is very good database for them, for the unique, transparent and pure communication and manage their products. That's why we need to adapt the other sectors to see which one will adapt it easily themselves, and we will predict the other sector. We will be starting to see other sectors as well this runs.
Thank you, Mehmet. One driver outside of crypto are going to be governments. And what I notice and have been noticing in the last few years is increasing authoritarianism on the part of former liberal democracies in the West. You know, trying to legislate against emotions with the Scottish hate speech law. Somehow hatred is going to be a crime. Increased surveillance, central bank digital currencies, cameras all over the place, Big Brother watching us in increasingly more innovative and repressive ways. That, I think, is going to spur a whole new wave of innovation as human beings struggle to assert their own autonomy, their own sovereignty, their own freedom, and their own privacy. So I think that's going to drive greater decentralization and a greater focus on privacy. If the government is not going to take care of me and my family, if I'm going to be assaulted by the government, right, in all sorts of ways, then I'm going to have to take care of myself and my family and unite with other people who are also interested in that. And that will mean creating structures outside of central control.
I just want to say one quick thing right off the bat of what you said. I want to counter his point just a little, and I want to interact with the audience here. In the US, there's an inside joke when it comes to the government. You've got the judiciary, you've got the executive, you've got the legislature. That's how the government works, those three. There's a fourth power. Does anyone want to raise their hands and think, what's that fourth thing? It's a joke. What do you think it is? BlackRock. Forget about governments. Forget what you think about governments. BlackRock is basically government. That's another important driver I will mention. So BlackRock, if BlackRock says we're going ahead with this, the company with the most assets under management in the whole world, if they say we are going ahead with meme coins, we are going ahead with meme coins. If they say Bitcoin is a store of value, Bitcoin is a store of value. Their word is stronger than governments because they have all the money. Unfortunately, money as we know it rules the world. So that's one driver, BlackRock. Second driver, governments 100%. There has to be proper KYC procedures in place, AML, counter-terrorist financing. And I think unfortunately the future of DeFi is unfortunately CeFi because of all the KYC, AML procedures coming in place. So those two, governments, BlackRock, and of course you have to have a proper value proposition. Why are you creating this for a reason? What's your white paper? What's the benefit of having such cryptocurrencies in place? Why do we have to reinvent the wheel? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Those are my 3 points. Go ahead.
I actually agree with you on that issue. So the thing is, for me, the most inspiring thing about blockchain is because it's against the censorship, right? It's against to one person power or institutions or governments, and it gives back us to our power and freedom. And by doing that, I do believe, because the future of blockchain is going to be, as I mentioned before, huge. It's already becoming one because of the nature of this decentralized nature of the blockchain. And I also would like to add something. I think we didn't touch that. Because of the inflation, it's getting worse in each country, especially I'm from Turkey, and the inflation in our country is right now, it's maybe 60 or 50%. It's getting even bigger and bigger, and right now that is why Turkey is becoming a very adaptive country in terms of crypto, because our currency is already losing its power, its value, and that's why people are turning back to the blockchain even more. Yeah, that's, I think, my answer.
I think one common driver of change that all of us mentioned is regulations, and we've seen a lot of changes in terms of global regulations, but let's talk about your own geographies, a little bit of background. We already spoke about you guys being from Turkey and how inflation being the problem, which in turn has led to the adoption of cryptocurrencies. How's it looking like in US or where you're from, crypto-rich? If we can talk about our own geographies, how the narrative is looking like there, and how far are we from the right regulations? And also I know that you feel that there should be no regulations when it comes to crypto, but I disagree a little bit when it comes to that, but we'll hear from all our panelists. I think let's start from no regulations and then move on to,
Well, this is a little bit curious, because I work as a child protection social worker, and I use the framework of the 1989 Children's Act, which a human rights lawyer has told me is not just the best child welfare legislation in the world, it's considered to be the best example of any legislation in any sector, in any industry. But it was created by the three main parties in Britain working together. Like, what's the best thing for children? What's the best thing for parents? What's the best thing to ensure their rights are protected? And what's the best thing to ensure that the welfare of children is never compromised? So it's just an incredibly balanced and I think fair piece of legislation. Unlike a lot of the legislation that has been coming our way in the last few years, really since lockdown. So I deal with, one of the things I deal with is domestic abuse. And typically it's a man controlling a woman, the mother, physically or emotionally saying things like, I'm going to tell you when you're going to go out. By the way, I will link this to crypto, okay? I'm going to tell you when you're going to go out. I'm going to tell you what you have to wear. I'm going to tell you who you can associate with. I'm going to tell you how long you're going to go out for. And don't worry about having an independent income. I'll give you some pin money. That's harmful. That's harmful for no say, no control, no say over their lives, and it's harmful for children because they get the idea that that's the way that a healthy relationship is. It isn't. That conversation played out at a national scale, the same conversation. The government saying to me, saying to you, saying to us, I'm going to tell you when you can go out. I'm going to tell you what you have to wear. I'm going to tell you who you can associate with, how far you can go, how long you can go out for. Don't worry about having an independent income. I'll give you some pin money. Oh, and this is all for your own good. So then human beings, as people, we lose autonomy, we lose sovereignty, we lose freedom. And it is just an abuse of power. So when it comes to that, when governments no longer take care of people, when they no longer are representatives, because in the US Constitution, government for the people, by the people, that the people are sovereign. And it's the same in the UK with the 1688 Bill of Rights that people don't know about. Parliament is, the parliamentarians are representatives of the people. When there's actually a clause in that, very little known clause, that in the UK, in the 1688 Bill of Rights, they cannot pass any legislation that's to the prejudice of the people. Now when governments start passing legislation or imposing rules that are to the prejudice of the people, then I think we have a duty to resist that. I'm not interested in that sort of regulation. I'm interested in government as serving us, not as oppressing us. So there, and I think the balance has gone too far the wrong way right now, which is why I think what we need and what I think will happen because of the nature of the human spirit is a move to decentralization and greater privacy and people struggling for autonomy and sovereignty as they always have done throughout history. And then with regards to BlackRock, well, they don't run everything. It's the people who own BlackRock that run everything, right? And their partners, Vanguard, and their we don't know who owns Vanguard, but another asset manager, and their partners who, State Street as well, another asset manager. They're the ones pulling all the strings in the background. Thank you.
That's a lovely opinion, and who wouldn't love the idea of a free society? What do you have to say to that?
So, people of government or government of people. So, our topic was prediction of the crypto, right? And we talk about early adapting. When will the government will adapt it? Actually, governments, one of the earliest adapters, but they are just observing how communities, how people are reacting to the new thing, new future era. So they are standing on the background, they are just observing, and they are existing as late adapters. So that's the important things, how people are acting. For example, in Turkey is one of the top early crypto adapters people. That's why someone says inflation, someone says others, but Turkey is not top high inflation. Argentina or Brazil more high inflation, but they don't have that kind of crypto. From the people who want to discover new things, they want to wish to touch the future. They bored of the old financial system, old technology, or authorities over the government. If there is a pressure, people want to find another way to delegate, to cross this pressure and create their systems. Okay, there is also getting easy, being easy reach, easy way, but that's also point. But the main point is that to cross path of the institutional pressures, centralization pressure. What I am seeing over here, we can see now there's over the 80 million population in my geography, and there is every 3 out of 1 person have crypto funds. Some was Bitcoin, some was blah blah. They are blaming. Okay, most of them that don't know how blockchain works. Also, they don't know what is blockchain. But they know there is a new thing is occurring over here, and this will be the future of financial system. And if we become an early adapter of that, we will gonna have something. We will gonna be the something big, part of something big. So that's how it is working in my perspective.
You sure you don't want to take this? I only have one word, guys. Only one word. For all the panelists here and for all the audience here after what they said, I only have one word. Monero. If you don't know what Monero is, go look it up. Monero, XMR. Okay, the only private blockchain out there, fully decentralized and fully anonymous, that you can interact with and pay. The only downside with Monero is, unfortunately, they have been blacklisted by exchanges in the name of government abuse of power, which you rightly said. But go look up Monero. I'm on the Monero side. I hold some Monero myself, and I'm on the Monero team all the way, over Bitcoin any day.
Yes, you can. And
I just have to counter. Monero is absolutely great. Absolutely great. Adele, sorry Adele. You may not know, I'm one of the crew at Pirate Chain. Nice. Alright. Pirate Chain, but it was spawned by Komodo. And Komodo was a fork of Zcash, which was a fork of Bitcoin. And the developers at Komodo were thinking, well, what if every single transaction was protected by ZK Snarks? Every single one. And they came up with Pirate Chain. Now, Komodo had developed a DEX, atomicdex.io, fully decentralized. And it does true atomic swaps in a decentralized fashion. No custody, no KYC. It works on iOS, it works on Android, it works on, I think it's a web wallet, it works on desktop. So here is a decentralized application that allows for cross-chain swaps, including Pirate Chain. I don't know if Monero's on it, but there are loads and loads of currencies. We're going to have more and more. I know there's 4chain. I know very little about 4chain, which is why I'm not commenting on it, but I'm sure it's fabulous. But there is going to be this move towards decentralization, because that's the nature of the human spirit.
I'm on that ship as well. So
we are on that ship. We'd like to be on that ship. However, the idea of true decentralization is truly debatable, is what I feel. What do you guys feel? How far are we from a truly decentralized future? Is it even a future? Is it too idealistic? What are your thoughts on that? We have about a couple of minutes left, but I'll take the liberty of taking 5 more minutes for this panel. Please go ahead.
I don't think it's that far away. And why I say that is, like, it'll take time to reorganize society. But if I look at the monetary system, it is crumbling. I think the first, and I did commentary on this in my channel, the first major fiat currency to collapse will be the euro. The European Union has been in such healthy state from 2008. From 2014 to 2022, they had negative interest rates. Negative interest rates and zero interest rates. There's no money. The euro is broke. The ECB is broke. So what they're going to do, they're going to introduce euro bonds, and that will mean they'll have to tax European citizens to pay for the euro bonds. But the European citizens don't have a meaningful vote. So now they've got taxation without representation, because MEPs can't propose legislation. They can't veto legislation. So why would people put up with that? So, and then at some point it's going to get too expensive to pay for all the bureaucrats and the enforcers to keep in place this top-heavy, centralized, repressive system. And then meantime, I had some very good news I saw on Zero Hedge today, that the US troops, 1,000 of them, are leaving Niger. So there's a rise of post-colonial countries that are like, no, we're not going to put up with Europeans extracting our resources and building their societies on the backs of our labor and our resources. So I don't think it's very far away. Now, I live in the UK, it ain't gonna be so great for me. But hey ho, I'll move into some decentralized community somewhere.
So I guess we are in the future. The time is ongoing without people who decline the decentralized future system, or with them. The time is arrived and come. You can just get in the board, or you can come late after us. We are the early adopters actually. We are the lucky ones. That's if you can imagine how it started with the smartphones. It just happened in 5 to 6 years. Just imagine 10 years ago. There is just the telephones with just buttons. You can't imagine with you're touching just screen and it's getting reaction, blah blah. It just happened. It will be. It's going to the same thing happening. So we need to just be the part of this feature and let's go.
Final thoughts on this one. I love the idea of decentralized communities, but at the end of the day, when it gets too big, you scale too high, like 100,000 members and plus, somebody has to do the admin, unfortunately. Somebody has to make sure that no one is causing disruption or disorder in the community. Nobody's sending nudes, for example. Not a good example. But somebody has to have some point of contact if something goes wrong, you know? Lost and found, you have someone to ask. Who's in charge? I have the right to ask who's in charge. Somebody has to be in charge. So I'm not trying to be I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate, but at the same time be a realistic devil's advocate that you can't have a 100,000 member group that's completely fully decentralized. It just won't work. There's going to be disruption, there's going to be anarchy, so there has to be a source of central point, but the central point can also be, you know, agnostic of the fact that, I mean, in a way that they don't discriminate, you know? You have a query to say, they don't need to know who you are, but you're part of the member, you're part of the members club, they don't need to know your KYC information, date of birth, no. But you have an inquiry, you're a human, and your inquiry matters. So that's my only point on that.
It's actually interesting. I have a question for him. Like how, in your idea, how you think it's going to be possible to bring censor, or maybe, I don't know, like how it's going to be that in a decentralized system? How do you think it should be?
Yeah, that's what I said. So the way it can only be decentralized is like, look, there's a central authority only where there needs to be a central authority. The rest is, if the vote is this particular notion that they want to go from, they want to enter, let's say, NYC Dubai, and they're based here, they all vote, let's go to NYC Dubai and have an exhibition there, right? There's going to be a vote. Who manages the ballot? Somebody has to see vote yes, vote no. Somebody has to see that. Somebody has to arrange it, right? So if everybody arranges it, 100,000 people with 100,000 differing opinions, how do you manage that? So by decentralized, the whole idea of a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, is, okay, cool, you're all owners in the sense that you all own the NFT. So you're an owner, but that doesn't mean that there's no rules in place, rules and regulations that you need to abide by. Be respectful, be kind to one another, and if there's somebody causing disorder, what if you might have to intervene and kick the person outside of the group? Refund their money for their token. I'm not saying you should, but if this happens, what do you do? And it's an open question. So that's what I mean.
Yeah, I was curious because that's an open question. I wanted to know your opinion.
What is the options with the communities? We can maybe say, we can just serve the options and community choose. That's the one.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have just a few seconds left, but right before we wrap, I'll get back to our topic of discussion. Crypto predictions, what's next? Just quick 30 seconds, we can all talk about it.
What?
We'll start from, remember.
What's next? Next, we are waiting. We sold the spot ETFs in US and we are seeing the random sites. So next bull will come. Not we are in the blue camp, in my opinion, will be massive and insane. Crypto market is waiting us, I think.
So the bull is coming, we're guessing. And is everyone getting crypto rich as the bull comes?
Is the
Do you have any
opinion?
final words?
Well, I do agree with them. I think we are already in bull, maybe. Maybe I wanted to believe that. I don't know which was true. But no, I do believe that we are already in bull. It's gonna only, as I'm sure, we're only in the beginning. So yeah, I'm against giving numbers, but I do believe, yeah, it's gonna be a little bigger.
I don't know, I'm kind of bored of first class tickets. I might buy an island. We'll see how this market goes. But I think we're definitely on the way to 100K.
All right, thank you so much. Time's up, and we'll see what's next when Andrea tells us that. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you to all the panelists for joining us today.
So we have a Web3 master course and an NFT minting education session. If I can please have Mr. Ahmed Rufai and Jorge Sebastião up on stage, please. Followed by our startup pitch session. All right, Ahmed.
Thank you so much and welcome everyone. I think we will need to just get the chairs a little bit out of the,
Can we please have the chairs removed from the stage, please?
Do I have a clicker or something to control the presentation here? Okay.
It's on the podium.
That one? Okay. Thank you so much. So welcome everyone. Today we're going to be doing a very fast forward sprint orientation of the Web3 master course that we have on disrupted.net. We have just compiled some of the resources that we think everybody who's new to the Web3, to the crypto, should know about. Whether you are a business person or a technical person, these are the basic things that you need to be really aware of and you know about. You can just tap into disrupted.net/Web3 Master Course or go on Telegram on just Web3 Master Course, and we have like almost 80 candidates who joined in 1 week. That was like a little bit impressive for us that we had this traction in just 1 week of people joining when we first piloted this course. And now we're thinking about taking it to the next level by some recorded lectures every week. Maybe we're going to do this with the guys at Cypher Capital Hub. We're still in discussion with them. But to run through the resources that we have combined, no registration, no login, we don't collect any data. So let's get started about the first very thing that you need to be aware of is digital skills. It may sound very basic, but a lot of people, yet they lack the basics, the very primitive basics of our time. The millennials, Gen Zers might be aware of that, some of them not aware of all the topics or the points in a digital skill suite. So, for example, people who are working in crypto or in tech, they are always about marketing, about business development, about creating a community. So what are these skills, the digital skills that somebody has to grasp in order to be successful in any tech or digital field? So for example, we have the PPC marketing, which is pay-per-click. A very good example of that is Google AdWords. You have the SEO, search engine optimization, how to rank higher on search engines. A lot of you will be very familiar with that. Email marketing, mobile design, optimization, omni-channel marketing, which is omni-channel is more about focusing or being client or customer-centric, while the multi-channel marketing or the normal traditional marketing is more channel-centric, not customer-centric. So in omni-channel, you're focusing about the quality of the end engagement with the end user and the end client, while with the multi-channel, you're focusing on the quality of the channel itself, whether it's web, whether it's direct to store, brick and mortar, or whatever marketing you're doing, social media, performance, web analytics, benchmarking, all these kind of things. Good enough that we will be sharing this presentation with everything here is clickable. So Accenture have actually launched on Simple iLearn and Future Learn as well, this free certificates for digital skills. They are internationally recognized, globally accredited, CPD accredited. You can just go and get yourself certified in the area that you would like to tackle for your business, whether it's AI, artificial intelligence, web analytics, user experience, mobile, or whatever. These courses are going to take you like 2 hours of your time per week. So over 3-4 weeks, just commit 2 hours and you get accredited and certified by Accenture, the leading tech consulting firm. A lot of you will be aware of Accenture, of course. And then we go to the next step, which is Bitcoin. This is a very basic of why everyone might be sitting here. A lot of people heard about blockchain because of Bitcoin. So what is a Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin? Whether they are or something else. But so far, most of the people have came into the sector because of Bitcoin. And everything is supply and demand. So some people might argue that Bitcoin doesn't have any intrinsic value, but actually Bitcoin has the features of a currency, has the features of an economy. Of course, there's limited supply, and as time goes by and more Bitcoins are being minted, the supply is getting less and less, so the demand gets higher. Okay, that's theoretical. Then the cost of the production, the less Bitcoins available to mint makes the processing power required and the hardware or the mining facilities that you need to have to mine more Bitcoins gets more expensive because you need more processing power, more cooling power for the heating that comes out of the mining process. As well as it becomes more available on more exchanges, and every now and then we have more exchanges listing Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies, you have the availability. That makes it easier to tap into and to access, which creates more demand, more people aware of it, more people can buy and sell it, and transact on it. Competition. There is a lot of competition of other currencies as well. And the consensus. Is covered by consensus. Other currencies may have other mechanisms of governance and regulation. These are the things that make anything demandable or in demand. Bitcoin, to some extent, supplies and satisfies all of these. That's why it has value. So with whatever point you're looking at Bitcoin from, these 6 points, you can define why it has a value. So actually we are listing here, apart from this, these 2 articles by Investopedia and by the Motley Fool, the guys there, on why Bitcoin has value, because it can function as a store of value and a unit of exchange, and also demonstrate the 6 key attributes that enable its use in an economy, And the value of a currency has changed. You don't have to always have something to be backed by gold, like the fiat currencies used to be backed by gold until the Bretton Woods, and then it were backed by the US dollar until the 70s, and then they floated. Now they are backed by your trust in the economy. So you trust the US dollar because you trust the US economy. You trust the euro because you trust the European economy. You don't trust another country because you don't trust their government or their economy. The same way, a lot of people trust or believe or hope for Bitcoin to hold this kind of value. That's why it has a value. When you believe in something, it exists. If you don't believe in it, it doesn't. And of course, Bitcoin demonstrates the attributes of a currency by its primary source of value lies in its restricted supply, as we said, and increasing demand. Then, with this currency, how can I hold it? I hold the fiat money in my wallet. So for cryptocurrencies and for digital assets, we also have wallets. And a wallet is just a device or a program, a dummy interface that just shows you a ledger of how many of these coins you have. It gives you access to them. You can send and receive them. That's a wallet. It's just an app. Or maybe a hardware device, like Ledger or Trezor, whichever you're using. We would like as well for you to have this small assignment that you guys can go into these 2-3 minute reads that we have picked and just take your own notes. You might be listening to this now and say, okay, I know that. Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, that's a good point. But as the proverb says, tell me and I'll forget. Show me, I may remember. Involve me and I will understand. So I would love for you to get involved and really try to go through that are very brief. You can read what we're talking about. I'm not going to go into more details here. I don't want to like overwhelm you with a lot of things, but these are the key attributes of a wallet, whether it's a program or a software, a MetaMask, a Trust Wallet, or a ledger, a hardware, a USB stick that you put it in your laptop and get access to your coins. Market cap. You hear a lot about the market cap. The market cap is going up, the market cap is going down, this is bullish, this is bearish. What is it? The market cap, very simply, is the volume multiplied by the price. So if I have 1 million coins, 1 million Bitcoins, 1 million Mickey Mouse coins, 1 million whatever coins, 1 million brandy coins, maybe, or Jimmy. You have 1 million coins in the market? You're rich. So if I have 1 million Jimmy coins and each coin is $1, then I have $1 million cap. If I have 10 million coins and it's $1 a coin, that's 10 million. If you have 10 million and it's $10, that's 100. And it goes that way. So you see how many coins of whatever coin is in the market, multiply this number by the price, you get the market cap, the market capitalization. What market cap means? The amount of the coins in the market times the price of the coin gives you the market cap. Then there is something called IEO, or Initial Exchange Offering. Initial Exchange Offering is the same as IPO. When you hear about IPO in the equity market, the initial public offering, when a private company decides to go public and offer ownership and shares